This chaos is starting to remind me of a place that I've been to before. What do you got going on back here? Oh my goodness.
I need Sean Filmer here for about 3 months so I can clean up this mess.
Anyhow, we got a bunch of parts in here. We got a shallow oil pan that was shipped to me from the same guy I went to get the bell housing from. And I realized that I needed the shallower oil pan because, conveniently, we've got a frame rail right there. Can you guys see that frame rail right there? That's kind of in the way, I think, from the measurements I took. We did get the bell housing mounted up. I still have to trim that corner off a little bit. So that's something we need to do. Got a brand new filter. Got a gasket kit. And by the way, I don't know the history of this transmission very much. If I remember right, it was pulled off at 180,000 miles out of a school bus. And that's all I know. The parking brake I bought separately because those are really hard to find and they're expensive if you have to purchase them just for fun. However, this is missing some parts and pieces. And since I don't know the history of it, I was surfing Craigslist the other day. And came across another one. And you know, I just can't resist good deals. So, being the good deal hunter that I am, what's another 2-hour drive to pick up another one of these that's got all the sensors on it. It's recently been serviced. And I know a little bit of the history behind it. And it's got a brand new TC290 torque converter. So I thought that was a better deal. I only spent $300 on this. So, you know, we're just tinkering around with parts and pieces. And it's not a big deal and it's not expensive. So anyhow, I guess what we're gonna do first is do a little garage cleanup, and then we're gonna service that transmission, the newer one, take the parts and pieces off of this that I need, get this pan swapped over, and there's a bunch of other stuff, other knickknacks and odds and ends that I've got to work on. But let's get started with this first. Okay, that wasn't bad. I had to take one bracket and the old filter off on the inside and then clean up the pan that I'm installing, the shallow pan, and installed it. And they have a neoprene gasket on here, so I just reused that one. It seemed like a good way to go. Now I'm not done with this. I'm still going to have to replace the input seal and the output shaft seal and put the parking brake on and all that good stuff. But I'll save that for off-camera work. You guys have seen me do that before. So I think the next order of business here, I came across a couple of things, and I'll show you what I got here. So this is a Isuzu rear main seal. It's brand new. And something I found that they don't manufacture anymore, but strangely enough I found one. This is like a speedy seal, but Isuzu makes it for the rear main. So basically what you do is you pull the rear main seal assembly apart, hammer this ring on there, and then put the new seal on. And yeah, this is supposed to obviously eliminate all the pitting and whatnot from it. So I think that's the next order of business. We're gonna have to take that bell housing off anyway. If you guys are wondering where that spacer is at, it's at the machine shop. It won't be done till later this week, so we'll be waiting on that no matter what. So let's get started on the seal back there, the rear main seal. Okay, as you can see, that was a tight fit. The instructions tell you to, slide that sealing ring on there, the speedy seal, and then when you go to put the flywheel on, it actually pushes it in just a tiny bit further, because that's about as far as I can get with a piece of pipes that I had laying around. But not too bad. That should stop the rear main seal leak. I also put new Permatex right there. The other thing we got to take care of is this little bolt hole here that's not used for anything anymore. I think it was originally for another bracket in the NPR. This is preventing the starter from mounting up to the bell housing, so we're going to have to cut about 1/2 inch off of that. So let's get started on that. All right, no idea why that was so hard to cut. I think there was a little steel threaded liner in there. But yeah, I got rid of that. The next thing we got to do is remove all of this parking brake cable stuff because the starter, once again, can't get in there without all that, with that stuff in the way. And then once we do that, we're going to trim down this bell housing a little bit more to get it to fit in there properly. And then hopefully that'll be the last time we have to mount that bell housing, and that can just stay there until we get the next parts ready for this build that we're doing here. All right, guys, we got the bell housing mounted and the starter mounted. Plenty of clearance all the way around except for the turbo drain line. So on the back of the starter here, this is terrible. You guys are never going to be able to see this. Oh, maybe it will be. See that little nipple sticking out? That runs into the drain line 90. So it's hitting like right here. And I tried to heat it up and bend it a little bit, but I probably didn't do it enough. So I will have to go back, and basically this part of the 90 has to be pointed like this. So I made undo it here and then TIG weld it so that it's rotated correctly. Or I may try and find an AN kit, an AN drain line kit, so that it's just got an AN fitting sticking out. And then you can basically run your hydraulic line like this, out this way, around, and then up to it. So I thought for sure that I was going to hit somewhere else on the block here, but as you can see, there's plenty of clearance. Obviously, the starter doesn't float around and slam into stuff, but just one little notch on the block there. And I took way too much off. I only needed to take like maybe 1/4 of an inch off, but I took all that meat off of there. Not a big deal. It's not really used for anything. In this vehicle, it's not anyway, but yeah. Got that part notched out. Got the bell housing installed. The only other thing I can think of now is the flywheel bolts have to go in right here. So I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure there is. Yeah, there's quite a bit of clearance back there. The only problem is you don't have a very good sight line as to what's lined up and what's not. So I may add an additional hole in there somewhere to create a little bit more access to line that up. But it's pretty much going to be by braille getting that torque converter lined up, and you're just basically holding the bolts in there. I guess once you get the first one in, the rest of them shouldn't be all that bad. Maybe I'll use a dental mirror or something to get that done, but anyhow, I didn't get as much done as I wanted to today, but that's no surprise. There are quite a few other things that I wanted to work on. And just to give you guys a heads up of what's coming up in this ridiculous nonstop money pit known as Rusty, I got a new fuel sender, one that doesn't have an arm on it because the arm in this fuel sender binds up on the baffles that are in there. You see the baffles? So it doesn't read accurately all the time. The other thing that's going to happen at some point, who knows when, I got to get the 6 intermediates off and take those in to get them foam filled. And I got the 8-ply or 8-ply rated tires. And those will make for some really nice foam filled tires on the Snowcat. Then I won't get flats anymore. One flat was enough. I don't want to deal with that again. But other than that, we got quite a bit done today. Obviously going to have to reroute the exhaust a little bit too, because there's no more room for that, so it'll probably be a straight dump to the ground now. Yay for that, right? But anyhow, other than that, I think that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. You guys are going to want to stay tuned. See me rip what little hair I have left in my head out with this project. And this is the last straw. Well, I guess I could say the ultimate goal here is to get the Allison to fit. And I know if this Allison fits, then a T1000 will fit. And that's a 6-speed industrial version. That would be the ultimate goal. But for right now, I just want to get this to fit. If this fits and it runs, we're golden. It may only go 8 to 10 miles per hour with that transmission in it because there's no overdrive, but oh well. That's just how it's going to be. As long as they don't blow up every 20 miles, I'm pretty happy with that. But other than that, I hope you guys are staying safe, taking care of each other, and as always, I'll catch you next time. See you later. Bye-bye.